going to show you how I make buñuelos. I'll show you the recipe for the dough, and you can definitely dredge them in a cinnamon sugar coating, but I'm also going to show you this flavorful syrup that I love to make with buñuelos. Buñuelos enmielados. So good. Here we go. Here I have a cup and a half of water. To that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of anise seeds and 1 cinnamon stick. I'm going to bring that up to a boil and let it go for about 5 minutes. I'm going to shut off the heat and let it steep for another 10. Then I'm going to strain, and this is ready for my dough. For the dough, I'm using 3 loosely packed cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm going to give my dry ingredients a mix. Then I'm going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of lard or shortening. It's up to you. I'm using this coconut shortening. I'm going to give that a mix and incorporate it into my dry ingredients. And once that's mixed, I'm going to add my cup of hot cinnamon anise seed tea. And I'm going to work that in. And once the dough forms a dough ball, I'm going to knead it on my work surface for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to separate into dough balls. With this dough, you can make around 12 to 14 dough balls. After 15 minutes of rest time, I'm going to roll them out. And you'll notice I'm not really flouring my work surface. You can if it's not a workable dough. And also if the dough is too dry and it's not stretchy, then you want to add moisture into the mix, a tablespoon at a time. But this dough is perfectly fine. You can also use your hands to stretch out the dough. My mom used to do that. But I'm just working with the rolling pin because it's easier. And here I've floured my work surface, and I'm just going to repeat the process for all of the dough balls. After rolling 3 or 4 out and letting them rest a little on the side of the bowl, it's time to fry the buñuelos. I've preheated my cooking oil, and I like to use the wooden spoon, and if it starts to bubble around the wooden handle, it's ready to go. 350 degrees Fahrenheit is a good temp to fry. And I'm just going to place that in there, and you'll want to sort of hold it down because it will bubble up, and you want to keep it as straight as possible or as flat as possible. And you're going to fry each side until a golden brown color, and that's it. And you repeat the process for all of your dough. Then I'm going to coat them in cinnamon and sugar, but I also like to coat them with a flavorful aromatic syrup, and here's how I make it. In a cloth tea bag, I have around 10 to 15 allspice berries and 20 cloves, and I'm going to just enclose them in this tea cloth bag. In a shallow pan, I'm adding 4 cups of water plus the juice of a large orange, along with the zest of the orange that I peeled, 1 pound of piloncillo. I'm also adding 3 to 4 cinnamon sticks and that bag of allspice berries and clove into the pan. I'm also going to be adding vanilla bean pods. I've already scraped these, but the pods are still fragrant. Now I'm just going to bring that up to a gentle simmer boil, and once the piloncillo has dissolved, you want to make sure you stir and combine well throughout the simmer process, and you're going to want to reduce this by half or until it has thickened into a syrup. And now you can coat your buñuelos. And believe it or not, even when you coat them with the syrup, the buñuelos are still crispy. It really is the best of both worlds texturally, and I love them.